Hey, what's up guys? Ken here from the Retro Toyscapades channel in Malaysia. I hope that everyone's doing good out there. Now, I've got the case of new Masters of the Universe Wave 7 figures, what I personally feel is the most underwhelming wave of new figures that we've gotten to date. But hey, it's still MOTU toys, okay? And there's still a reason to be excited. Now, I'm checking out Buzz Off first for the review tonight, so stick around and don't go buzzing off anywhere. The show is about to start. Buzz Off, the heroic spy in the sky. Now, I did mention a couple of weeks back that, I was never really a fan of the vintage Buzz Off action figure, but boy, was I surprised by the outpouring of love that you guys showed for him in the comment section. Okay, so I admit that I had underestimated just how popular a character like Buzz Off was. But having said that, I still think that his vintage action figure looks a little bit too cheesy. But this new figure could be a huge improvement though. Now the card back shows you some of the things that you can do with Buzz Off. Spread his wings, twist his body into powerful battle positions, and that's about it. Spread and twist. Well, let's see if there's more fun that we can find to be had with Buzz Off here. Now the description for Buzz Off reads, leader of Eternia's bee people, the Andrinids. Buzz Off uses his insect vision to keep an eye on Skeletor's evil plans. Now the image shows Buzz Off on the cliffs spying on the fiendish activities of the evildoers of Eternia. But I've got news for you, okay, because if he's doing some spying here, well, all the three villains that you see here, Beastman, Skeletor, and Evelyn, well, they've all appeared to have spotted Buzz Off, okay? So he's not really spying on anything. You can see it right here, okay? They are watching him, and he's watching them. Everyone is just watching each other, so it's not really spying, okay? In the background, one of the mountains has what appears to be a mouth with sharp teeth. Is it alive? This must be a reference to something from MOTU mythology. If any of you guys know what it is, hey, drop me a note in the comments. Here's the paper guide that shows you all of Buzz Off's removable parts. By the way, it's not mentioned here, but the wings can be taken off too. There isn't another character yet that I can think of for you to swap them with, but they can be taken off. Okay, Wave 7's mini-comic is titled Challenge of Jitsu. Well, Jitsu is the only bad guy in this wave, so, it figures that he would play a main role in the story. I've been meaning to get back to more mini-comic reviews. I haven't done the one for Wave 6 yet even. But let me know if you guys want to see more of the comic reviews and I'll work it out. And we'll all find out together just what is the terrifying challenge of Jitsu. Okay guys, we have him out. The King Bee himself, the Master Honeymaker, Buzz Off. Now just looking at the figure as he is right now, I can already see areas in which he's a dramatic improvement over his 1983 vintage figure. By the way, in case anyone was wondering, the helmet is removable as well. But inside, wow, I wasn't expecting this. There's like a pair of long antennas that look like demon horns. But it's just great, man. This is all new. They reworked the original head entirely. In fact, his face looks more streamlined now. The original looked too goofy and silly, but this is definitely an improvement. And as you can see, he still has that sinister smile. Like one of a cult leader that's about to sacrifice you to the cosmic old ones. Yeah, like the demons of H.P. Lovecraft. Cthulhu! But yeah, I'm loving this face sculpt, great work. What the hell is that? Okay, it's like some paint slop here, but it's blue. What the hell? It's like some bullshit. What? Now, the helmet with the goggles is very nicely detailed, and you see these two slots at the top here where the antennas go through. This is pretty much an entirely new deal. The helmet is completely redesigned from what the original was, and it fits back on pretty smooth. And I guess, with the antenna sticking out, it kind of holds everything in place really well. Now checking out the rest of the figure's body here, the paint applications are very well applied. The yellow stripes look very clean. There's none of that weird blue slop that we saw earlier in his head there. Yeah, everything looks really great. And something that's interesting here is that the claw, the right claw that he has here, is actually an open claw. And I remember that the vintage one had one closed claw and one open claw, but this one has got both claws open to grip stuff. So that's great. Okay. Now, what I'm really appreciative of is that they've given him the creature or beast-like feet, three-hoofed sort of like feet deal here, which looks really great for a character that's supposed to be like a humanoid insect. Okay, nothing like what we got with stuff like Beastman, where he had the human feet of sorts. Okay, so I mean everything here just seems to flow really well. And you can get him into some cool positions too. Whoa! Oh shit! Buzz off. Are you okay? The weapon accessory that Buzz off comes with is this axe. Yeah, a very aggressive, primitive looking weapon. Nothing futuristic like a laser gun. But yeah, the axe is made out of sturdy plastic, so that's good. With the figure now having two open claws, you can have the axe fit into either one. All right, which is an improvement over the original, I gotta say. The claw kind of sort of holds on to the axe pretty well. It could also slip off, and you just gotta wedge it in there. But yeah, it's a pretty good fit, and Buzz-Off looks pretty good, I gotta say. Okay, with this weapon in hand, ready to chop his way through the enemy. Okay, now let's check out Buzz-Off's wings. Those giant yellow wings on his back here. And yeah, the wings are positionable. You can either have them down or you can have them all the way up, all right, in flight mode. And the wings are actually made out of very sturdy plastic, okay, which I don't remember the original having. We're gonna have to do a comparison later. But you also see that there's a lot of detail worked here into the wings, a lot of circuitry, which is kind of cool, all right? It sort of gives Buzz-Off this sort of futuristic element, okay? Like he's a mixture of, primitive and high technology. But overall, I think that a lot of fans are definitely going to like what they've done here with this update. He's a pretty good looking figure overall. Okay, now, fly on, Buzz-Off, fly on. Easy there, Ken, don't drop him again, all right? Yeah, hi there. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, the wings can be removed from the figure, and what you gotta do is just sort of like ease them off the spec here on his back, and you're left with something that looks like an armored plate. But what got me wondering is actually if Buzz-Off's wings are supposed to be removable, in terms of how the character operates. Are the wings supposed to be like a permanent part of his body, or can he choose to just have them on or have them off whenever he wants to? What do you guys think? Let me know. Now check this out, guys. Since the wings are translucent, when you place the figure against a light source when he's in flight mode, you get an interesting effect that really brings out all the wing details. Look at this thing, guys. Now this is pretty cool, okay? Okay guys, it's comparison time, and I've got the vintage Buzz-Off figure from the 1980s here in my right hand, and as you can see, this guy is just a little bit too chubby and cheerful looking. Alright. Well, overall, I'm just not a fan of this sculpt. And on the top of his head here, I guess we found out that his antennas have been clipped, okay? But overall, yeah, you can see how the Origins version is definitely an improvement. Okay, comparing between both the helmets, and you can see that the detail work, especially on the goggles here, when it comes to the Origins version, it looks so much better. Okay, these look like a pair of very tasty looking waffles, whereas on the vintage one, it just looks like flat chocolate brownies. Now, on the top of the helmets, you do see a lot of differences here as well. As it turns out, on the vintage helmet, you have a pair of sculpted antennas, I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Basically, are they saying that the antennas are attached to his helmet? Okay, checking out the right claws on both figures, and you can see the closed right claw on the vintage original, whereas, as we covered, the Origins version has it open. And I guess, having it open is just so much better. It just allows for an infinite amount of new play possibilities, okay? Yeah, but this is just another sign how the Origins version has proven itself to be an improvement. All right, checking out both the X accessories, and as we covered, the Origins X is very sturdy, while the vintage original one is pretty bendy. Okay, I mean it's made out of this soft rubber, and honestly, nobody wants it like that. Okay. Now, the axes are mostly pretty similar, but there are some subtle differences here between the two to help you tell them apart. Such as when it comes to the vintage original, you do see these dents here worked into the blade of the axe, yeah, which are much more prominent than those on the Origins version. Okay, now let's do a comparison of the wings between the two of them here. As you can see, the Origins version is made out of very sturdy plastic, and whereas the vintage one has more softer and flexible plastic. Which one do you guys prefer, honestly? They both have the same amount of sort of circuitry worked into the detailing, so in that sense they're similar. But yeah, I mean, well, the other thing that's different is that the manufacturer's information is clearly stated here on the vintage original, and you can see it says here Mattel 1983 Hong Kong. Now that's vintage, bro. That is retro. Such a long day. I've been spying and doing my part to relay information and store honey and keep the people of Eternia safe. So thirsty, I sure could use a drink. Something sweet. Wait, is someone watching me? No! No! Yes! Give me some honey, you ridiculous overgrown bee! No! 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 Okay, so that's the video, guys. With all the improvements over the original, plus an all-new portrait, I gotta say that the Origins Buzz-Off is a definite recommend. Something that I never thought I would be saying, but yeah, he's good. And I'm sure that's good news to his swarm of fans out there. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know what you thought of it, and do leave me a like and flood the comments straight, okay? And of course, I hope that I've earned your subscription if you haven't done so already. Thanks, guys. I'll catch all of you again real soon.